in a crazy new development of the Russia-Ukraine war, Ukraine has made gains in Russian territory. They've invaded the region of Kursk with a pretty sizable military incursion. They control, according to the Ukrainians, over 1,100 square kilometers of land. It's what, that's like that's hundreds of square miles as well, I think.
82 settlements is what they're reporting right now.
Yeah, and they're still going.
And they're still going.
They're still working on it right now. So this is wild. They're also using Western weaponry, specifically British tanks, to make their gains in the region. What are your thoughts here? What is going on? Why now?
Well, I think this move is clearly one of the biggest catalyst was their defensive in the southeast isn't going great. It's getting hard. They aren't making any counteroffensive progress in that region.
Yeah.
And if it is any progress getting made, it's very slow progress. Okay. And they need to put pressure on the Russians somewhere else. So the Russians have to pull equipment and men out of this area and into this to plug this hole.
Yes.
Now, in addition to this Kursk region is important because it's near the region of Belgorod. And Belgorod is a big supply hub, big logistical hub. Specifically, the city of Sudza was a big hub. Sudza's been taken now.
Yeah.
Sudza is now captured. And these are big logistical hubs that have been used to attack Kharkiv in the past, to bomb Kharkiv, to bomb Kyiv. Those regions are now getting hit. In addition to all this, airfields across Russia in Novgorod to the east of Moscow have been hit with drone strikes. And these airfields, we don't know how many aircraft were destroyed, but what we do know is that there have been a ton of drones attacking airfields across Russia right now. So this is a very coordinated attack. In addition to that, there's another big area here. There's a Gazprom pipeline through this region. Now, Gazprom is the biggest Russian oil and gas company. This pipeline still supplies natural gas to 3 European countries: Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary. And Ben, you know what I'm going to say? All 3 of those countries are thorns in the side of the EU with Russia relationships.
Yeah.
Slovakia and Hungary specifically, way more than Austria, are basically Putin's little guys, little men inside of the EU.
Yeah, little minions.
Focus on little. And this, by shutting this, they seized the Gazprom metering point alongside this pipeline. And so now that they've seized this, I believe they're going to leverage this to try to get the EU countries to not give in to Hungary or Slovakia's demands.
Yeah, I think that's true as well. It's also a good negotiating point if Ukraine is trying to win back any of its territory in negotiations that would end the war, which I also think is one of the biggest, if not the biggest reason for this invasion right now.
Totally.
Right? Because I think it's going to be very hard for Ukraine to push the Russians out to the point that they completely regain the 18% or so of their territory. That can't happen.
The landmines, the trenches, the defensive battlements, dude.
No.
There's no way they're going to be able to take back every square mile.
No.
At least within the next 5 years. Right?
No.
It's going to take time.
Exactly. But at the same time, Russia won't be able to make significant gains as long as Ukraine continues to get weapons from the West.
Yes.
So Russia's best bet right now is a Trump presidency, is a right-wing nationalist wave in Europe.
Yes.
But I think I even if no more aid is given from the U.S., for example, Ukraine has enough equipment from them now with this most recent bill that was passed to last them 3 years.
Yes.
So Russia is in a really bad position with a war of attrition that it didn't want and didn't expect. And I think they would like to, I almost want to say they would like the war to end, but also we know their geographic security needs require them to go further than Ukraine.